Yo, what the heck is up, guys? It's your boy Chief Wiz,
And it's your boy T Dot Boogie.
and today we're here to talk about all that action that happened this past Sunday, Week 12 NFL football, and we're gonna give you our picks for this Thursday night's game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Boogie, what a fucking wild weekend of football, brother.
I loved it. Those Thanksgiving games, I think they're the best Thanksgiving games I've ever seen. And of course, our Cincinnati Bengals did a beautiful job. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But wow, what a weekend of football. How'd you feel, buddy?
Dude, I thought it was very, very exciting. We saw a lot of high scoring games. We saw a lot of Titans get felled and a lot of underdogs become overdogs, right? So there are a few matchups I'm going to be like really, really excited to talk about. Some few flashes in the pan and maybe some magic that just might be fading. But I guess first of all, we should go ahead and get started with the hometown heroes, man. Team bias. We had the Cincinnati Bengals at the Nashville Tennessee Titans. Wow, thanks, brain. The Nashville, the Nashville Titans. Cincinnati was
Right.
favored minus 1.5. They definitely got it. Boogie, what was the final of this 20-16 game?
Final score was Bengals 20, Titans 16.
Yeah, you're goddamn right it was. Dude, how about them Bengals, baby? Who they? If you don't mind, Boogie, I'd like to just go ahead and get the passion out right away. Is
Sure.
that cool? All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, look, last week we talked about how they were going to attack Cam Taylor Britt, our rookie corner on the edge, and boy, did they ever. They did attack him. There were a couple really, really big throws down the middle of the field that were caught by Treylon Burks. Of course, we had Cam Taylor Britt on the defensive. But let's also talk about these effort plays that we saw. Derrick Henry with a 72-yard screenplay that went all the way down the field. Peanut punched right out and then fumbled into the end zone, man. Wow. I am surprised Jesse Bates didn't even land on that ball. I don't think anybody, even Derrick Henry, was surprised. Let's talk about this incredible Cincinnati Bengals defense, Boogie. And I'll go ahead and talk about Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, Joseph Osai, the guy whose name is like Tualupi or Tupolo or something like that.
Well,
One more time, please.
Josh Tupou.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, wow. Dude, they played the run incredibly well. Jermaine Pratt, Akeem Davis Gaither even got in there. Of course, Logan Wilson on some excellent deflections. Derrick Henry ran the ball, I mean, like plus 20, I think even 30 times and only had like 38 yards on the ground. He was averaging
That
two.
17 carries, 38 yards, 2.2 yards per carry.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, wow,
Yeah.
dude.
And if it wasn't for that like 72-yard play, he would have had like 7 yards through the air. So,
Yeah, man.
nothing doing for Derrick Henry.
No, not at all. We really stopped them. That was the game plan. We came in there. We said, "Fuck that. We're not going to let this guy beat us." And that's exactly what we did, man. Now you look at the offensive side of the ball, and you start to see what really makes this Bengals team special and why they are the most dangerous team in the AFC right now. We got a Cincinnati Bengals team that had no Jamar Chase, that had no Joe Mixon, still came out here and put up big, big numbers. I'm looking at you, T. Higgins. You know, it was funny. Today, Wednesday, November the 30th, Jamar Chase had an interview. He's back in the facility. He's practicing. He will be playing this weekend. But he was talking about how he and T had a talk, and like T Higgins was like, "Hey, I'm glad you're hurt, man, because now I can actually show what I can do out here." So that was a fun moment between them, and I think he's really proved it, dude. We're 3-1 without Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon still hasn't cleared concussion protocol, which I don't know if honestly he has like an injury, but they're just pretending it's a concussion because I've never seen any player in the league have a concussion for 2 weeks, and especially a non-contact like ticky tacky, like I don't know, man. I just don't think it's really a concussion. I think Samaje Perine is just really, really shining, man. He was eating it up out there. We had Travion Williams who was eating up a lot of ground. Again, While Tyler Boyd was getting triple teamed, they weren't going to let him beat him. T. Higgins was making big plays. We had Trenton Irwin on the outside on that 3rd and 12 to, that back shoulder from Joe Burrow. And wow, Joe Burrow just showing why he deserves to be in the MVP talks. Point blank period, bro. These Bengals are very dangerous. And remember, it's not we have to play them. It's now they have to play us. Okay, we got 2 games at home for the first time this season. Of course, the Browns and the Chiefs this weekend. So it'll be really interesting. Tyler, I'm sorry to just really go off on a tangent there. Just very passionate about the boys. Is there anything that you saw from this game this weekend that really stood out to you?
Just I'm just going to repeat some things that you said. It was basically just a very blue collar game from the Cincinnati Bengals. I was very impressed with DJ Reader coming out there. I believe that's his first game back and getting 3 deflections, including one off of his bicep, off of Ryan Tannehill. I was very impressed by that. I really thought that, Derrick, like we all thought, I thought Derrick Henry was going to be extremely dangerous this game. And I was very impressed by the effort and by the scheming by Lou Anarumo to get Derrick Henry dropped behind the line or at the line so many times.
Oh,
really
yeah.
stymied him. Oh, yeah.
Mike Hilton, our fucking nickel corner, was in there making plays behind three tackles behind the line of scrimmage. But I digress.
How does a nickel corner tackle basically on offensive lineman? That to me is just bad wild. Can't believe that. You couldn't write it better. And also just looking at the stats from the game, I'm very impressed. Let's see. T. Higgins, his longest reception was 29 yards. Hayden Hurst, his longest reception was 29. Samaje Perine, his long was 32. And Travion Williams, his long was 24. There was just a lot of long pass plays that were really successful, and they just kept marching down the field. Didn't give a damn who was in front of them. They just kept it going, and I'm really impressed with this squad. This is exactly how you want to win. I was hoping over this game and the KC game that we go 1-1. I think we could go 2-0 easily. With how we're looking right now. I mean, look for Joe Burrow to have another 350-yard game coming up this week, especially with the return of Jamar Chase.
And Jamar, especially in his interviews like today, I encourage you all to go to Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube if you've not done so already. If ever you're just generally curious about these kind of interviews, I know I watch a lot of them. Just saying, man, he's excited to get back, and he was ready to come back against the Titans, but he told Zach Taylor, he said, "Hey, man, I want another week." And Zach said, "You got it." And I think that goes to show just the kind of organization we have. We're not rushing guys back. We're thinking about the future. We're really just I don't know, man. We're dominating in all facets, right? Culture, gameplay, results. We are dominating in all of those fashions. I think that, again, this Bengals team is one of the most dangerous offenses in the league right now. I wouldn't want to play them, especially now that we're getting hot. And I mean, sure, at Kansas City, everybody wants to suck their dick. But, dude, Joe Burrow hasn't lost to Kansas City. Pat Mahomes has yet to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. We even went to their house and smacked them in the mouth during the championship game. So,
right. But
also let's keep in mind that Joe Burrow does not play against Pat Mahomes. They play against each other's defenses. And I'm looking, we'll talk about this more on Saturday. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but
I do want to say one more thing.
Please. Go ahead.
I put my hand up and I say, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. This game plan, this offensive game plan, over the past couple weeks has been inspired, and the execution has been wonderful on the offensive side. And I just want to shout out Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan for making the most of their personnel, especially with Jamar Chase, their ace in the hole out for the last couple weeks. It's been pretty creative, and it's been very effective. So, I just want to walk my comments back a little bit about Zach Taylor. I don't think he's total garbage anymore, especially with the way he's been rocking it out these past few weeks. So.
Yeah, and I've been saying it all year, man. I said, just patience, just relax. Just like Joe Burrow said in week 3. He said, "Hey, relax." I know what I see out there, man, and the potential's there. It's still there, and we got another gear. I'm hoping we can go from like, I don't know if we're driving an 8 speed or a 6 speed, but I think we're gonna just keep fucking shifting gears and getting out of here because the more that these guys play together, the more this offensive line is like getting better and better. Like, holy shit, man, we're about to see some crazy shit. Mark my words, we're gonna see some crazy shit, and especially in the playoffs, man. We may fuck around and take the North. But we'll talk about that more when we get down to this Baltimore-Jacksonville game. Boogie, let's just move on. I could talk about the Bengals all day. Let's go ahead and talk about this Tampa Bay at Cleveland. Tampa Bay was favored -3. Boogie, what was the final in that one?
So the Buccaneers scored 17 points. However, the Browns scored 23 points on the last minute Nick Chubb touchdown in overtime. So Cleveland victory by 6 points, and I love that green.
Yeah,
Daddy.
Let's keep it real. Who would have seen that coming? Tom Brady is like 218 and something and 0 coming into this game when leading like in the fourth quarter or something, and he lost. And I think that really speaks more so to like what's going on down there in Tampa. They had no business losing to this Cleveland Browns team. They were in control the whole game. I feel like, at least from what I was looking at, it just seems like Tom and Mike Evans are just not on the same page, and it's very scary to see a number one receiver and his Hall of Fame quarterback just not making that connection. I mean, was there anything that you saw from this game that really stood out to you, Book?
What I just, the only thing that I really want to say about this game, because I didn't see too much of it, I got a couple things actually. One thing is that Jacoby Brissett totally deserves to,
keep
to
the
at least
starting
try
job.
out for, if not get a starting job in this league next year. For his final game, he was completely unselfish. He wasn't making it, a pity party. He wasn't saying, "Poor old me, about to get replaced mid-season when I'm on a pretty decent tear." He was out there throwing blocks for his runners. He was out there slanging the ball. Like, other people, weaker men, would have maybe gone out with a whimper instead of a bang. But Jacoby Brissett has made a case to get a few phone calls from, I think Mina Kimes said she thinks about 8 teams in the league should give him a call, and I agree with that figure.
Yeah.
At least give him a call. See if he wants to come down to Houston or Detroit or what have you to take over the quarterback position. And the other thing I want to say is that even though Tampa Bay is currently 5-6, they lead the NFC South, and they are currently still in the playoff picture because they lead the NFC South, which just goes to show how bad the NFC South has been this year. It seems
Terrible.
It seems like the NFC East has taken all of their mojo, with everybody, I think, still either, around 500 or actually, still having a winning record. And seems like everybody in the NFC South, this may be another, Panthers 7-9-1 situation where a team with a losing record takes the South. So
yeah, no, that will happen. I completely agree with that, man. I think the Bucks are still going to win the South, and I think we could see playoff Tom, but I mean, with just how disjointed.
If they can just get into the playoffs, like it's gonna be so aggravating, because in Wild Card Weekend, Tom Brady's gonna pull off some sort of like last minute 30 seconds, he's gonna get a touchdown or a field goal and win a playoff game, and it's just aggravating because they have business being there when like everybody in the NFC East is at least like 7-3 or whatever. But what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got the same problem in the AFC East. Speaking of which, we had the Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. Miami was favored -14, and they just blew the Texans out of the goddamn water, dude. I think I saw what was the final on this one, Boogie?
That was the Dolphins 30, the Texans 15.
Oh, you were so close. You were so close.
I mean, the line was over 47. Yeah, I mean, those odd makers know what they're doing. And you should always bet the under, even in games like this. But,
but see, the only reason it went under to begin with is because literally after halftime, They played what's his name, Thompson. I mean,
Yeah, Skylar Thompson.
yeah, there it is. So Tyreek Hill didn't even have a touchdown. Like the Miami basically fucking like turned off the engine and coasted to the end of the game. Like that's literally what it looked like because
Uh-huh.
they were so dominant that McDaniels was like, "Oh yeah, let me get my starters out of there. I don't need anybody getting hurt here because like,
No.
dude, they looked fucking dog shit. The Texans did." Um,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
I
getting
mean,
out the starters early when you have a game against San Francisco this weekend, that's a smart play, and I think it'll pay dividends.
yeah, I think so as well. A game that I hope a lot of people made money on and paid dividends as well would be this Chicago at New York Jets. New York Jets being favored -7, and I think they won by even more. Boogie, what was the final in this one?
It was a college football esque Jets 31, Bears 10.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
Trevor Simeon did end up playing in this game because he got a shot of cortisone into his ribs or his lat or whatever was bothering him pregame. So we didn't get to see the Nathan Peterman show, unfortunately, but it did not make a goddamn difference for the Chicago Bears.
no, it sure didn't, man. I mean, Mike White looking like, a superhero out here. That shit is not going to happen. Again, you're talking about a Bears secondary that was already banged up. You're playing against a bunch of backups. These receivers were obviously starving for somebody to throw them the ball that could actually throw them the ball. And, they made really great use of it today. I don't really see, of course, that stout Jets defense that showed up and played very, very well today. And, Chicago, I don't even know why Justin Fields was out. I don't remember hearing about him getting hurt like at all. So it really surprises me that he wasn't playing this game. Had he been, they probably would have had a better shot. But it was also a super rainy day up there in New Jersey. So who knows if there would have been a lot of passing. It seemed like a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of running the ball. But again, backup quarterbacks on 1 week with the starters or less, right? And then also traveling. That's just not enough time to cook up a good scheme for Chicago.
It's tough when your starting quarterback is splitting ones reps on the day of with his backup for that day. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trevor Simeon took some reps with the ones, and then Nathan Peterman took some reps with the ones. Kind of seems confusing if you're going to give Trevor a cortisone shot, and make him play. Why wouldn't you give him all the reps to at least have a modicum of a chance to make a showing against a New York Jets team that was looking on a skid for a while there, but now looks like they could be resurgent with. I
Yeah.
think I think we have to stop calling Mike White a Madden creative player. This is two times he's started in two starts. He's had over 300 yards passing and three touchdowns. So he might be a guy. He might be a one-hit wonder each year, but I guess we'll see coming up next week.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, speaking of one-hit wonders, let's talk about this Atlanta Falcons team at the Washington Commanders. Washington, a team that I thought was really going to take the L this weekend, did not happen at all. Washington is still looking very, very dominant. What was the final of that one, Boogie?
It was Washington 19, Atlanta 13.
Yeah, so I mean, who would have known? Washington was favored -4. Of course, I had taken Washington to win, but I mean, it really could have gone either way in this game. Marcus Mariota just not looking comfortable out there. Cordell Patterson not really running the way that you expect him to run the ball. I don't know that Kyle Pitts was playing in this game. Forgive me. Drake London kind of just, if they could get a quarterback in there that could actually throw the ball, I think this team would be unbeatable. Kyle Pitts is obviously a stud in this league. Drake London is very, very fast. A lot of these rookie receivers that came into the league this past year just really popping off, doing very, very well in an NFL scheme. I'm very impressed. So it just surprises me that this game wasn't at least closer. Washington, of course, still just riding that Heineke magic, man. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. Do you have any thoughts, feelings, concerns about this game, Bud?
about this game, but let me just say some words at you real quick.
Yeah.
This Falcons team is a run heavy team, with a a pretty like a tight end with a lot of potential and a couple good receivers. Zacchaeus, despite the fact that he has the name of a backup wide receiver, is is very serviceable and a steady presence. And Drake London, of course, has potential written all over him as well. So for a team that wants to emphasize the run as much as Arthur Smith does, and has Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ritter currently as their quarterback options, doesn't this seem like the perfect situation for a guy who's used to a run heavy offense and has just enough skill throwing the ball to be able to distribute to these wide receivers? A guy like Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely agree. The jury is still out on Desmond Ritter. If I were MacArthur, just because I have a crush on Mariota and I drafted him in Tennessee, doesn't mean that I wouldn't, just be like, hey, you know what? I think the only reason they're playing Mariota with his experience is because they are only like a game or a couple games behind the awful Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South.
They are they are one loss behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly, man. Like, that makes no sense. So I get why they wouldn't want to start a rookie quarterback, right? Like, why make those mistakes when we still have potential to win the South? But with that being said, there's no reason not to, I don't know, just get him some reps, man. I mean, I'm not familiar with their practice, nor am I familiar with, what goes on behind closed doors, right? But as an outside observer who is generally interested in like what Atlanta's got going on, something needs to change, man, because you can't keep predicating yourself as like an only run team, and we're now at week fucking like going into week 13, and you're still this. You've won 4 games, man. Like, try something else. You know what I'm saying? Let's try throwing the ball.
I mean, if Arthur Smith is, as creative of a, running coach as we like to think, why would you not at least give Desmond Ritter like 3 plays a game in the game plan? Put him out, put Mariota and Ritter out there at the same time. Put them both in the backfield.
Okay, yeah. Actually, that would be cool, man. Yeah, why not?
Mariota's Mariota hasn't been, it has been known to, occasionally catch a touchdown. Why don't you just see what happens? Why don't you put together a package of 6 or 7 plays that you can, that you can drop in there for the rookie to, give him some playing time and see if you got something with him. And, if those plays don't work out, then, nothing lost, but nothing ventured, nothing gained either. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, agree completely with you.
Yeah, fortune favors the brave, man. One team fortune doesn't favor, the Denver Broncos, who are at the Carolina Panthers this weekend. And let me just say this as I'm marking this red. Denver fucking sucks. That's all I'm going to say here. Denver fucking sucks. Like, I'm not going to say anything else about this game. There's no reason to talk about it. They fucking suck. I'm tired of everybody in the bar watching the game, and I have to watch this bullshit game because I live in Colorado, and Denver is so bad. Russell Wilson is so bad. And, yeah, go ahead, Boogie.
There's an entertaining TikTok channel that I come across every once in a while that's called it tracks Russell Wilson's progress. It tracks how many touchdowns he's thrown for against how many bathrooms he has in his house. And this has been week 12.
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Russell
cool.
Wilson has 12 bathrooms in his house. Do you think he's beaten that number thus far this season in passing touchdowns?
No, he has like 8 or 9 passing touchdowns.
He has 8 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He may not make it at this rate to 12 passing touchdowns before the end of the season. And this is Russell Wilson. This is a guy that if you sim a game of Madden 10 years in the league, usually by the end of it, Russell Wilson is a 38-year-old quarterback with 3 or 4 Super Bowl wins and like huge counting stats. And he can't buy a TD for love nor money. It is just wild how far his star has fallen. But Garth has Garth has predicted this all along, and you've absolutely right, buddy. I did not expect it to be this bad, but boy howdy is it ever.
Bro, I mean, again, like, I don't understand how Elway didn't watch his last 2 years in Seattle. Dude, look, man, like, stop with the fucking trying to get Hall of Fame quarterbacks to come play for you. Look, it barely worked with Peyton Manning. Had their defense not been incredible, and look, Denver fans, your defense is amazing, bro. You guys have so much potential everywhere. But Russell Wilson fucking sucks, and I'll keep saying it. I said it before the season. I've said it every single week because it is embarrassing to sit here and listen to all these Denver fans in Colorado Springs be all proud and happy every single week, like, yeah, this is the week. Let's ride, dangerous. No, the only thing that's dangerous is your fucking GM because he makes terrible decisions, continues to make terrible decisions by mortgaging y'all's future to other teams. Your best players, sending them away. Like, you guys should just traded Jerry Jeudy then. Like, what are you just trading Bradley Chubb for? Like, you need to make back as much collateral for this. One sec.
I tell you what, that is an albatross of a contract. Now that you know. Oh,
Stupid, bro. These people are stupid, man. Like, God, dude, Denver, like,
so tough.
Sam Walton or fucking Bill or whoever owns the team. Who cares, man? Fucking great value, the whole entire organization, and get that shit out of there, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this shit. This shit sucks, man.
It's a Dollar General franchise.
Dude, it fucking sucks, man. It's embarrassing, dude. I feel bad for, like, the city of Denver. I feel bad for the state of Colorado. Your football team is fucking garbage. And I even tell people to their face, bro. I'm at that point now where I'm just telling fans in the bar, like, dude, you're like, Russell Wilson fucking sucks. Anyway.
It is nice that the shoe is on the other foot now. We got the superiority of position with the Cincinnati Bengals where we can just be like, your shit sucks. Your shit keeps sucking because you decided to get a football player as your GM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man. Terrible decision making. But hey, you want to talk about a one-man team? Another one that we talk about all over the place. We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, granted, I said this a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week, but I told you this Jacksonville team is turning a corner. They're looking fairly good, and I think this past weekend they really proved it. Of course, like a last-second 2-point conversion to beat the Baltimore Ravens. The final was 28-27, Boogie. But what was the final in this one?
It was 28-27. You're absolutely right, and it was thanks to really gutsy and high-level play by Trevor Lawrence that the score turned out that way. He went blow for blow with this Ravens team who has shown themselves to be not 3 steps above the competition, but at least a step above the competition so far. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's starting to turn a corner under the tutelage of Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, man. A couple things I saw from this game. Baltimore is Lamar Jackson. It's been made very, very clear. The same way, let me reset here. Baltimore is Lamar Jackson. Okay. I never look at Baltimore and go, man, I can't wait for this guy or this guy or this guy. It's just literally, sure, you can say Mark Andrews, but nobody does. They just say Lamar Jackson. Like, I believe in Lamar Jackson. Well, Lamar Jackson is not a one-man team, and it's very obvious, especially when your defense has blown yet another 9 to 10 point lead in the fourth quarter. Like, how, man? I feel that Baltimore is going to be second in the AFC North, and only because they continue to do stupid shit like this, where they have no business losing this game, but they'll go out and lose it anyway because Lamar Jackson can't do everything. He doesn't play defense. He can run the ball. Sure, he can throw. They have no wide receivers. So you've got a Baltimore team that has a Hall of Fame quarterback and tight end, and that's it.
I would
Right?
love to see Mark Andrews on a different team and see if he's just average, and if it's just Lamar Jackson, the gravity that he pulls with his running ability that is allowing
gets him so open.
Mark
Yeah.
Jackson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I completely agree with you, Boogie. Again, just embarrassing for the Baltimore Ravens organization, and of course, I love the Bengals, so I'm going to be a little more harsher on the Ravens. But, dude. Lamar Jackson,
Did,
I don't know if
did
he's going to
exactly
get
what we
paid.
did.
Yeah, no, that's 100% correct. We are tied in the AFC North. Of course, we have a 1-3 record, so Baltimore still holds the tiebreaker because theirs is like 3-1 or something. Um, could come down to a Week 18 matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals on the 8th of January. That'd be fucking nuts, but it's not what we're here to talk about, right? Um,
I'm here to talk about one thing. Where do you
yeah,
think Lamar Jackson's going next year?
shit, I don't know, dude, because I wouldn't want to play in Baltimore. You've never drafted me any receivers. You've not really given me any running backs. I've got a good offensive line. Like, they are stout. I've got a defense that just lets other teams come back and beat us every single week. It feels like they're always in such a close game for no reason. Um, shit, if I'm Lamar Jackson, like, fuck, dude, okay. So this is gonna sound wild, but what about I'm gonna lick my lips because I don't know how this is gonna taste. So either I'm going to the Raiders, okay, and trade the second round pick to Baltimore, let them draft a quarterback, and let them kind of just start over because I don't know what they're doing. I definitely give the Raiders Lamar Jackson. Then you have Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs. Maybe just being out in the West to be a little different vibe for him, a little different field because he's a Midwest guy. He went to Louisville and then immediately went, still staying in like the same general area and going right over to Maryland. Like, he hasn't really gone anywhere else. So it'd be cool to see him out in the West, having to play Mahomes a couple more times a year, maybe really get him prepared and ready, um, for
You
his
don't have to
future.
trade a thing, by the way, if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, because he's an unrestricted free agent this coming season. So, I
Oh
mean,
no shit! I did. I
the Ravens.
I thought he was going into his fifth year option, so I'm tripping. Maybe this was his fifth year, wasn't it? And they
This was
franchise tagged him. Nice.
Yeah, this was his 5th year option. So, I mean, and they didn't sign him to an extension, so they, kind of
Shit.
kind of fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
Unless
Well, who has
unless all you
money?
out of Lamar Jackson is 5 great seasons and a third round pick in 2025. That's all you're getting out of this guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Fuck. Okay. Well, shit. With that being said, like,
I'll throw Seattle out there as a possible destination.
it's
I
not
think
bad.
they're pretty
Yeah.
good.
If we're going NFC, dude, the 49ers, wouldn't that be crazy? Like, I know no one wants to see that happen. I don't even want to see that happen, but
Whoa! Whoa! Guard!
no, but
You're a genius!
for real though. Like,
Oh my god.
could you
With the
imagine
running
that,
and the
man?
throwing ability?
Dude, they'd be
At the
unstoppable.
speed?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
That'd be
that's
crazy.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So that'd be really nice. I mean, I'd like to see him in San Francisco. So, all right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, fuck Trey Lance. Let's get Lamar Jackson out there.
dude,
Age
I mean,
26. Can you imagine just the
yeah,
next 10 years of those two?
I can.
If that happens.
I think it'd be great, dude. That'd be crazy. A
Oh man.
Shanahan-led offense.
He's currently telling his dog to shut the fuck up.
No. I'd never cuss at her. She's my baby. But I told her to shut up, man. That's what I was telling her. Like, I'm gonna have to go close the back door. She's got cat now. Okay, sidebar team. So for all of you out there that don't know, of course we both have puppies. You've seen Tyler's dog on here. Maybe I've shown you Roxy once or twice. Roxy, come here. But the point being is that maybe she might be a Chippet, so like a Chihuahua pit bull.
Oh,
Maybe,
okay.
and
Weird.
maybe that's why she's so defensive and like needs to like defend the house anytime a breeze blows by out the back door, like whatever, dude. So yeah, my apologies, football family, but we'll move forward here. Next, we had another super exciting game, man. We had the Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. Los Angeles was favored -3. I think they won by 1. Boogie, what was the final in that one?
Final in that one was the Los Angeles Chargers 25, the Cardinals 24.
Nice, dude. So, oh, whoops. That's not correct.
It's not
That was red. So we have, yeah, dude, like a late fourth quarter comeback. Justin Herbert just fucking slinging it, man, showing why he deserves to be, um, the next, you know, wow, thank you, Brain. Hey, what's up? I'm Garth. Part of the next generation of just really elite quarterbacks. He really just drove the ball down against, a stout Arizona defense that was putting up, good numbers all day. But, again, you just can't lose a game like that. Just like Baltimore. You guys were up. You just had to take control. Justin Herbert showed why he's the man, though. Is there anything that you saw in this game, Boogie, that really stands out to you?
The only thing I can hope for is that Arizona wins their bye week this week by um, firing Cliff Kingsbury. And
Damn, you think they're going to do that?
I
Is it
mean,
is it that time?
this Arizona Cardinals team has spent so many high draft picks on defense. They keep accumulating nominal, wide receiver talent for a guy who can distribute the ball, who can sling it like no other for being a guy who's 5'8" and can runs like a angry toddler who's trying to keep his apple juice away from his parents. Like, there is no reason why these Arizona Cardinals should not be competing for the NFC West. They are really being held back by Cliff Kingsbury. They're being held back by Steve Keim. I mean, I'm frustrated, so I'm overhyping it, but I really think that, if the Bidwells want to, if they want to pull themselves out of this mediocrity and show that they're actually a serious team, they stop being unserious. They need to get rid of, Cliff Kingsbury, and if that doesn't change things, they need to get rid of Steve Keim and just clean house, start over. And if you lose Kyler Murray out of that, if 2 years down the road he's like, I want to go somewhere else, you may just have to lose him too and deal him to a team. But
I don't think that's really all that big of a deal, man. I mean, I know you don't want to hear it as an Arizona fan, but I mean, yes, Kyler Murray is good, but he's not great. So, I mean,
potential, it's all potential still,
yeah,
So,
exactly.
and I mean, if they keep doing things the way that they're doing them down in Arizona, he's going to only be potential because they're not going to develop him. He's not going to.
And he's not developing. It seems like he just.
He's not going to grow.
Yeah, I completely agree. It seems like after that first year.
He was doing his first year. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page there. It's annoying as shit because Arizona, like, what are we doing here? Like they had.
I know J.J. Watt doesn't have a step like he used to. I know A.J. Green doesn't either. I know, D-Hop is still killing it, but like they're better than 4-7. Or 4-8. Excuse me. I believe that in my heart, but if they continue to be unserious like this, it's just like get rid of Cliff. Promote somebody to interim head coach, promote the defensive coordinator, interim head coach. Try to go after somebody really creative, since Bieniemy is apparently radioactive in the league. Give him a try. Knock on his door and see if he wants to work with Kyler Murray. But, do something serious in the offseason because this season is over.
Yeah, no shit. Well said, my friend. Another game that really just like surprised the shit out of me and maybe everyone in the league, the Las Vegas Raiders going up to Seattle, putting the fucking smack down with a Josh Jacobs touchdown to give them the lead late in the game. Again, Seattle was in control this entire game. But damn, did the Raiders just hang in there? Boogie, what was the final in this one?
The final in this one was Raiders 40, the Seahawks 34 on the back of a Josh Jacobs 300 scrimmage yard day.
Wow, 300 scrimmage yards? Holy shit. I was not even familiar, but I mean, with the way the tape looked out there, man, I am not surprised. Like, the Raiders...
3 yards. Yes.
Yeah, the Raiders really needed somebody to step up. It definitely was Jacobs. Like, with no Darren Waller, no Hunter Renfrow, of course, your two big guys out on IR. The defense playing suspect at best. Like, it's really nice to see that that Vegas could get it done. I mean, was there anything that you saw, Boogie, from this game that really stood out to you?
I mean, I didn't see a goddamn thing from this game. I don't remember what game I was watching at this point in the evening, but I think I was watching the KC game. I don't know. but I didn't see anything from this game. Um, I think it's very interesting that the two teams that we named for Lamar played each other. Um, I think the Raiders. They're 4-7, and that makes a lot of sense for how their roster is currently constructed and the kind of draft capital they've pissed away over the past few years. Yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore because I really don't have anything to say about this one.
Cool. Probably let's just let them roll to the AFC Championship game. We had the Los Angeles Rams at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Chiefs won by 16. I'm not really too sure. Boogie, what was the final of this one? 16-10 or something? Or
That's exactly the case. They did it for us. They did it for the betters. It was KC 26, Rams 10.
yeah, like what a fuck.
Actually, I was watching this game, and boy howdy, not necessarily his fault, but the backup quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, absolutely. I mean, he looked like Kendall Hinton out there. He looked like that backup quarterback for the Denver Broncos last year, that emergency quarterback.
Dude, it just looked terrible, man. Like the Rams are bad, bro. They're just very, very bad. Yeah, they're just bad, dude. I don't even know. Like, there's really nothing to say about this game. This was basically just a try something new game for Kansas City, or just do really whatever you want, because this was no contest, bro. This was a very boring game to even watch. I think I was watching Arizona and Chargers because, well, I don't know who was on CBS. This was on Fox. Man, I don't remember. Who cares? It doesn't matter, because this game was just stupid, man. It was basically like they should have just conceded before the game was even played. Kansas City didn't even need to come out on the field today. They already won. What a boring game.
I mean, let's keep in mind the fact that the Rams scored 3 in the second quarter and 4 or 7 in the fourth quarter. I mean, that 7 in the fourth quarter was probably just an absolute nothing play. It was just garbage time.
Yeah, garbage time at that point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%, man.
This could very well have been a 26-0 game for, all the effort that Los Angeles Rams put into this. So,
yeah. Absolutely, dude.
I hope that this lulls them into a false sense of security coming up this week as we come into, or as they come into our town and absolutely the fuck beat out of them.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a close game this weekend with the Bengals and Chiefs, but I think that the Bengals will win. But let's talk about that game could very well have been a shutout, but a game that actually was a shutout. The New Orleans Saints at the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco coming away big dub. Shut out the New Orleans Saints. Boogie, what was the final of that one?
The 49ers 13.
Nice.
And New Orleans Saints 0 because they didn't show up.
Yeah, exactly. They did not show up. That Alvin Kamara was fumbling the ball. Andy Dalton didn't know what a football was. It looked like out there. It was his first time holding one. You said what?
He didn't know up from down.
Nah, man, it was just embarrassing all the way around. San Francisco really looking dominant out there. There's really nothing else to say about that game, to be honest with you, Boogie. I got nothing to say about it. It was just bad.
Another one I didn't get to see, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a game that I thought was going to be a lot more exciting than it turned out to be. Green Bay at Philadelphia. Philadelphia was favored -6.5, so a touchdown to take the money. I'm pretty sure they covered as well. Boogie, what was the final in that one?
The final score was the Eagles 40, the Packers 33. And it is wild to say that this game was dull when it had that kind of score, but you're really right. What did you see out of this game, buddy?
Dude, well, the first thing I noticed was that the Eagles had 300 yards on the ground, just period. If not way more than that. I noticed that Aaron Rodgers just looked bad. Of course, he's got a broken thumb, and all of a sudden his ribs are hurting. Oh, let's make a story out of everything. They don't fucking play him, bro. You should have put Jordan Love in there, because they didn't actually start scoring points and coming back until Jordan Love got in the game. It was 20-20 in the first half, and a lot of cheeseheads were like, oh yeah, I mean, we had a chance with Aaron Rodgers in the first half. I don't really think so, man, because sure, really it was your defense that, had your guy thrown one block, would have been a defensive touchdown. You would have been up by 7. Instead, you know, look, the Green Bay Packers just need to sit Aaron Rodgers the rest of the year. Let Jordan Love play. You got to see what you have in this guy. He's been sitting on the bench for what? This is his 3rd year riding the bench, and it's just like, at what point are we going to stop riding the Aaron Rodgers train and thinking that they have any shot? They are not even in playoff contention, so it's time to look at the future, man. Like, let Aaron Rodgers rest. If he wants to retire, let him retire. If he wants to go somewhere else, let him go somewhere else. Because at this point, who the fuck cares? Green Bay needs to figure out what they're going to do. And Matt LaFleur isn't, really making his case for a great head coach, especially since they can't do anything without a Devontae Adams, right? Christian Watson did look great. A.J. Dillon actually had some runs, like for once. That was really cool. But again, the Eagles really just dominated time of possession. They ran all over the field. In fact, the full length of the field, 3 full times. Like, that's fucking insane to even think about. Boogie, what did you see?
I was just very impressed with the way that the Philadelphia Eagles just looked like they could run any which way they wanted to against this Green Bay defense. They're not a bad defense. I wouldn't say they're a great defense, but they're good enough that you would not figure that the Philadelphia Eagles would be able to get, I think it was 363 rushing yards by the end of the game, which is the most that the Philadelphia Eagles have had in a single game since 1948.
Wow. Wow, dude.
As Philadelphia media said, the last time that the Eagles got that many rushing yards, Chuck Bednarik, Philadelphia Eagles legend, was still in high school. Yeah, you're making a face like you don't know who that is. That's because he's I don't even know what era he's from.
Yes.
He's old as fucking dirt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is what era he's from. And the only other thing I can say about this game is that, well, I got a couple things actually.
Yeah,
right
go
about
ahead.
Jordan Love. He looked like he had like a Rodgers to what's that fool's name?
Adams.
It doesn't matter. Not Adams. The other guy who's been there for 5 million years. But
Randall
anyway,
Cobb.
Randall Cobb. He looked like a Rodgers Cobb connection between Jordan Love and Christian Watson. He looked really efficient when he was, throwing Watson's away. It looked like 2 young bucks who are, finally coming into their own and are really able to enjoy success together. Looking at Aaron Rodgers' contract, if they dropped him this year, the dead cap number would be $151 million. And if they dropped him in 2023, the dead cap number would be $99 million. They have a potential out in 2024 with a dead cap of $24 million. You're still hobbling yourself, but you are tied to this man until he's 40 years old, and he already looks like he's about 55 years old with how inefficient he is back there. So, what we might see is Jordan Love playing for a different team by the end of this, and the Green Bay Packers having to completely crater themselves in order to get out of this situation. I don't know if you're frozen. Okay. I thought you were frozen
Just
because you were so still. Oh my god.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Amen.
damn, they're fucked. Just like Denver, they're fucked too. Look, I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers in the future, but like, let him get healthy, man. Okay, you got him until 2024, then like, keep him out the rest of this year. Like, why is it every year we're always talking about how he's injured? Like, why don't we just let him, I don't know, heal up? Like, why don't we try that?
If you're the GM and you're saddled with Aaron Rodgers at least until 2024 and maybe beyond, if he still shows something next year, why not get Jordan Love out there, let him play the last, because you're 4-8, now you're not doing anything, so why not let him play out the last the 5 games or whatever, and put some tape out there and then start shopping him around, because
it's not a bad idea actually. Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Because there's absolutely no way you're gonna continue to hold on to him as an insurance policy and pay him what he expects to be paid when he goes into UFA. So you might as well shop him around, see if you can get a first or a second round pick or a package of picks for him. And
yeah, but that's also what's dangerous about this, right? Is we have really no information on this guy. So how are
Yep.
you gonna? You're basically shopping around a blind asset. You don't really know like the two games he had played in what the past 3 years or whatever. They were terrible. Like he did really bad.
Look like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so he has a great 2 quarters here. Like I think you're absolutely right. Like I mean, obviously you drafted
But
him
I'm
in the
sure what you
first
do with the
round.
whole game plan.
Yeah, you drafted him in the first round just to sign Aaron Rodgers to a massive contract. Like this
Going
is
through his age 44 season.
this is
That's mine.
more of the same, like just nonsensical, boneheaded decision making by the management of a football team. Why would you take a quarterback in the first round just to piss him off so he gets 2 MVPs? I mean, that's cool, but nothing has come out of it. You lose in the first round of the playoffs each time, and then this year you just look like dog shit, and then you let Devontae Adams leave. So what was the point of signing Rodgers if you weren't going to keep Adams? Like,
The
I
best route
just
runner in the NFL and the
I
one who makes him look so goddamn good.
I don't get. Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I don't get the decision making. That makes no sense. I would never draft a quarterback in the first round to not ever play him.
I mean, no matter what, you've depreciated the asset immediately because you're not likely to get a first round pick back.
Oh
I mean,
hell no, you're not going to get a
if he
first
looks
round.
if he looks great for the rest of the year, he looks like he's starter ready and he can take a game plan fully through a game and they go 3-2, 2-3 for the rest of the season. You're probably your ceiling is like a second and a fourth round pick.
That's
Or
honest. And I mean, the one thing we know about the NFC North is that they really like um, at least with this Green Bay Packers team, there's a lot of like, I'm going to go to our immediate rivals. We saw that with Zadarius Smith went to the Minnesota Vikings. We saw that with Brett Favre going to the Minnesota Vikings. Or maybe it's just Green Bay really likes to go play for the Minnesota Vikings. But my point being is like, they're probably not going to keep Jordan. Yeah, they're probably not going to keep Love in the NFC North, right? So we're not going to see him in Detroit. And we're not going to see him in Chicago. So
Mhm.
I don't know, man. It's confusing to say the least.
Yeah,
And
maybe see him in New York.
which one?
I'm just throwing that out there. It's a
You know?
goofy. It's a
Yeah.
goofy
Hey, bro.
Giants. I mean,
Or
does Daniel Jones
Jets.
belong in this league?
I don't know,
Uh,
man. He's like the most blue collar quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
mm-hmm.
He
Guy
just
you want your daughter dating, you know?
yeah. I mean, dude, I could go out and have some beers with this guy maybe, or like we could eat some chili dogs together on a beach while we look over the pier and wistfully gaze into the sunset. But that's neither here nor there. The point being is that I don't know if Daniel Jones, you're right, is really that caliber quarterback. And I mean, he's doing very well now. But I just don't. I think with their great record this year, they really kind of fucked themselves in the search for a good quarterback. Maybe in a couple years they'll have a chance, but like, I just don't know what New York's doing, man. Like either of them. Either New York team. They're really confusing me. Another team that confuses the shit out of me is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were at the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh actually came out with a dub. T, you called it. That was good thinking. I mean, Indiana seemed like they had an opportunity to come out and win that game, but of course we had another Matt Ryan meltdown and just couldn't get anything done. What'd you see from this game, Bug? What was the final as well?
The final score was Steelers 24, the Colts
Mm-hmm.
17. I don't have ESPN, so this is a problem. So I didn't see this game.
Sure.
But
Well, I got to watch it at work, on mute, and I saw that Pittsburgh just, I don't know, man. I barely saw anything. I should probably watch the highlights.
I guess. I mean, Benny Snell is out here yet again, just being the leading rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers after they spent a first round pick on Mister 3.5 yards himself, Najee Harris. Guy still just does not look like a functional, running back or as elite as everybody was making him out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, neither team was really like functional in this game. Just looking at the counting stats, Matt Ryan's out here with 199 yards. Kenny Pickett's out here with 160 yards. I mean, this looks like it was a race to the bottom for both of these teams. And I guess the Steelers just were able to close it out in the fourth quarter. I imagine that the Steelers had a good defensive effort, which is, I think the only reason that they could win a game like this against a Colts team that looks halfway decent.
I
What
agree
I
with
do
that.
remember from what I've seen on Twitter is that Jeff Saturday did not call any timeouts while the Pittsburgh Steelers were driving down with like I think a minute 30 left in either the second or the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
Just poor clock management by the rookie coach that probably directly resulted in the Pittsburgh win. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, quite possibly, man.
I don't think if you look at the highlight reel, it'll on the NFL YouTube page. It's probably going to be like 6 minutes long. There's no way anything of note happened in this game, or it's going to be a lot of like instead of touchdowns,
Completions.
it's going to be completions and first down.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't know, man. I'm just not really impressed with either of these teams. Indy is obviously cratering. They switched to a rookie quarterback just to go right back to Matt Ryan, who had his first couple games were really good with Jeff Saturday. Mike Tomlin, though, on Monday Night Football, he's got probably one of the most winningest records, and it just continues. It's weird because we could fuck around and see yet another Pittsburgh team that has barely above a 500 record, but that is yet to be determined.
They're really going to have to they're going to have to win out, and I don't know what their schedule looks like moving forward, but they're at 4-7 right now. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 winnable games out of their remaining schedule of 6 games. I mean, let's see, that would put them at 7 and 10.
7 and 10, yeah.
So, I think unfortunately Coach Tomlin is not going to be able to get to 500 this year, but still a very impressive run to start a head coaching career. And to say start as if he started like 2 years ago instead of like 15 or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
My God, this guy's going to be at like 600 or something for his career win total at this point.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Fame coach. Yeah, weird that we didn't have any buys this week, but next week we have buys. I don't really know.
I think they just had to fill out the Thursday nights, so they had no buys for this week, but it looks like 13
that makes sense.
They will.
Yeah, well, shit. Let's go ahead and pick up this week.
643 winning percentage as a head coach over his over his 15 years as an NFL head coach, which is
very, very impressive. Yeah, that's very, very
only
impressive.
Like Belichick maybe has a better one.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I guess we should go ahead and pick up this Thursday night game, Boog, and get on out of here. Of course, we've got Buffalo at the New England Patriots. Buffalo is favored -3.5. I don't know though, because this is a Buffalo Bills team that I have no confidence in. Here's what I think. I think that New England has something to play for. Buffalo is already slotted in. They've got a playoff spot, right? Even though it's a wild card, and New England is playing for that wild card as well. So I think New England has more to play for. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it against my better judgment. Something just tells me that a Thursday night game, man, both of these teams have had like a full week basically to like prepare for this game. So it's just going to be a regular game. It's not going to be like a, we're shorthanded or we're tired kind of game, because they both played on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So I'm going to take Buffalo to win. I'll have them against the spread, but there's something that is like eating at my instinct and is telling me that New England is going to fuck around and win this game. That East is just so stacked, dude. And I don't know what it is, man.
I thought you said beast.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well be. Like, they're killing it, man. So this could be a really, really good game. It has the potential. All the things are there. Belichick in December. We got of course, Buffalo that really needs to try to win out so they can have, the East title. But again, a Buffalo team that, like we saw on Thanksgiving, almost lost to a Detroit Lions team. They're 2-2 in the past 4 weeks, which is just weird. Like, not something I thought we'd ever say.
I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that Josh Allen has an elbow injury that might be,
Hmm.
affecting the way he throws the ball and is affecting his ability to, make it happen for them. But I'm seeing videos out here also of, the, people talking about the New England Patriots offensive scheme and how it's actually working against Mac Jones's strengths as a passer. So if New England wins, it's going to be on the strength of their defense and on the strength of them, getting after Josh Allen, making him feel uncomfortable, making him have to make hurried throws that work against his elbow injury. Making off-platform throws and things that'll lead to sloppy interceptions. He'll look kind of like the guy he was his first year in the NFL. If New England has their way about it, so I'm choosing Buffalo to win, probably against my better judgment as well. Oh, I'm reversing course. I've talked myself into it. I think the New England Patriots are going to come out with a defensive plan. Like you said, it's Bill Belichick in December. This is when he really starts to eat. This is when he really starts to understand what his defenses can and cannot do. I think they're going to come out here with a bullshit defensive plan for Josh Allen. I think they're going to blanket his receivers and make him make uncomfortable throws, and come out with a squeaker of a dub. I mean, I'm happy to take the 3.5 points, and we'll just see what happens. This might also be, since it's 43 degrees in Foxborough, Massachusetts for this game. This might be a running game, and Ramondre Stevenson is showing up as one of the best young runners in this.
I completely agree with the T. I mean, I guess we'll see, man. I'm gonna hold just for parody purposes, but just something just tells me New England's really got a fuck around and find out mentality. Buffalo again, just not finishing the way that you feel like they should have with such a dominant beginning to the season.
Sure.
We'll see. We'll see, man.
We will.
Yeah, with that being said, man, thanks for joining us this week, guys. I really appreciate y'all coming and hanging out, man. Boogie, is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off here?
I just want to say thank you so much to our supporters. Please comment down below if you have any. If I just comment down below, what would be your walk-on song if you were a professional wrestler?
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
I know.
yeah, just let me give you just a little call to action here at the end of the video. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate you, and I love you so much, viewer. You, yes, you. I love you.
Hey, thanks. I
That's it
love it.
for me.
I love you too, bro. But
Wow.
yeah, I'll no, but I mean to all the viewers out there, man, can't thank you enough, dude. We've almost got consistently like 10 views on each of our videos, which is really big for us. We're only like 13 weeks into actually like doing anything, so it's a big deal, man. If we can consistently get 10, shit, if we can get 3 likes on this video, that would be phenomenal, man. Um, but yeah, we just can't thank you enough for supporting us, man. But like I said, and like I always say, from one dope bro to another, y'all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, man. Peace.
Peace.